Call to order the March 19, 2019 meeting of the Mooresville Town Council. Council members have had a chance to review the minutes from our previous meeting. I need a motion to either approve or amend.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as they are.
Motion been made. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Next item, we'll break down award of the cemetery bids. At our last meeting, we were able to open the sealed bids for mowing or maintenance of our cemetery. We had two bids, one for $595 per mowing, the other one for $1,800 per mowing. And I know this new math really gives me trouble sometimes, but I'm thinking that the $595 is probably our best choice. Dave, you had a chance to review the bids. Are you satisfied with the lowest bid?
I am. All the documents are in place to award bid to the lowest bid. Not one left behind lawn care.
Any questions or comments for Dave?
This is not someone that has done this in the past, correct?
They have not.
Need a motion to award or table the bids?
Make a motion that we award Not One Left Behind lawn care.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Dave, would you please reach out to Not One Left Behind Lawn Care and let them know that the bid has been awarded. I think in the past you kind of had the control of when we mowed the first time.
Yeah, that's correct. And then I will arrange with him an appropriate start date.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the awarding or the clarifier bids, discussion or awarding of the clarifier bids. Karen, if you would. I know that I know I beat you pretty hard on this one, but we wanted to award this bid to the lowest bidder, and that was HMTV.
Yeah, that would be the better option at this point. I don't know how good they are at constructing things, but you did receive 3 bids. We did review all three. All three are responsive. All three are capable of doing the work. Obviously, the big thing is that the cost of all three of them came in higher than our engineer's estimate. I kind of gave you some documentations earlier about some of the reasons behind that. I reached out to 2 of the 3 contractors and tried to get information, and both of them basically said they are really busy, don't need the work, and didn't applicably with that. Meaning they're not taking any risk associated with any construction activities. So that consequently they put a premium on just about everything. And I reviewed the numbers across the board, and they're high. So it's not a case where 1 or 2 items made it up. They were hot, all of them were high. There was 3 or 4 that stood out to me, and one of them being excavation and earth retention, or shoring, dewatering, the concrete and demo, the haul off, and underground piping, and recycling. Those are basically the big 4, so to speak. All those have some risk associated with them, some unknowns, and some, anytime you dig, you've got some risk. So that really emphasizes that they weren't going to take on any risk with this project.
We have in our contract when we signed with HMTV for design and speccing, bidding, and then oversight. Is the additional shoring that you spoke of something that we will monitor, and if it's not done or not needed, is it something that could be a deduct from this bid?
You could request that they are responsible for the excavation and making sure the excavation is safe for not only for your guys' plant staff, but their workers as well, that they have a safe environment to construct the new one. And in their opinion, they have put in that number for that reason. We did, when we put our estimate together, we probably underestimated from where they're at on that portion for sure. We were thinking they would need to shore on one side, and both of them have told me that they believe they're going to have to shore on three sides. So that was one of the big.
The two sides being, the one side being to protect the integrity of the clarifier
Yeah,
that's
the
there.
clarifier. They're also concerned about piping on the roadway on in my direction, like the north side, as well as the effluent piping along the weather. Those are the two things. Those are the two. That's the three sides they're looking at. They're concerned that when they estimate that the bank will cave in and expose that existing effluent piping and have it fall in. So that's what they kind of indicate to me as the reason why there's some difference in our estimate compared to theirs.
Did we do that shoring when we built that one?
I don't know.
Because this one is one of the 83.
Yes, it's one of the old ones, yeah. We did look at a couple other options. One of them was to, possibility of basically reutilizing your existing, the equipment, so to speak, or the clarifier equipment, the rotor, the mechanism, the bridge, and that sort of thing, the metal portion, and just pull that out, try to reuse that, put a new concrete tank in, and rehab that existing and put it back in. The risk associated with that is you've got a 30-plus-year-old piece of equipment that we'd have to sandblast it, paint it, and try, and there may be some, once you start doing that, taking it apart, we're assuming that with the upheaval it didn't tear anything up with that, but we don't know that until it gets taken apart and put back. So that option has some risk. The savings, or we would speculate somewhere around, if you did something like that, maybe $150,000 over there. And more likely that's a major change, you would have to rebid that as well. And the other item we kicked around was the possibility of going with a smaller clarifier. If you do that, then you have to go back and get a permit from my end because you're not replacing in kind. So that opens up, you'd have to do that portion, and then you'd also have to repeat as well. So.
On our agreed order with IDM, we had on there that the contractor should finish project 1/1 of 2020. The 240 days, are we going to be close to that, or are we going to be somewhere in there? I know that you talked about some of the finishing of the paint we'd be doing in the middle of the winter.
I think you can be close to that. They haven't, neither one of them said that was a driving factor in the past. Obviously, we asked them, yeah, we'll take some more months, but it wasn't something they said, yeah, we absolutely have to have that. So, and the driving force behind that is to delay in the equipment. When you order the equipment, it's kind of about it's 14, about a 26-week lead time on the equipment.
I know you said that at the pre-construction or pre-bid meeting that you would reach out to the manufacturers. Did that get us nowhere?
They told me originally, they told the contractor 14 weeks. I reached out to him and said, hey, it's basically the same thing you built 5 years, 6 years ago. You should have the drawings on it, same thing. We're basically replacing with the one that was done. And they said, well, we could probably knock off 4 weeks.
4 weeks, but nothing in concrete.
Nothing in kind. That was just a verbal that, yeah, we should be able to save some time. So it'd just be a case where they'll have to really push and make sure that don't let it slide. And they should be able to turn it around. Again, it falls back to the thing is, if the contractors are busy, the equipment manufacturers are also busy as well.
Well, I think that sometimes when the economy is good, it cuts both ways.
Yep. And that's one of the hardest things in our business is estimating market trends.
So we can't let the bid to HNTV on their estimate?
I wouldn't advise it. If you're asking me for my recommendation, I would not advise it.
Council, he had provided us with the email that had been forwarded, and it had some potential cost savings. However, when you go down through there, each one of those cost savings are items that HNTV really doesn't recommend, or if you look at it, it's something that's really not going to be beneficial for us to eliminate. I know, just the first one that came in was using the existing handrail, and Dan, during our pre-bid meeting, had pointed out that he really wanted to be able to have access in and out, egress and egress, which they didn't have before. So that would eliminate one of the things that he felt like was the most important.
A lot of their items are things that make operation and maintenance harder.
We, in our compliance plan schedule with IBM, the way that this was laid out was to receive the bids for the project on 3/5, to receive a recommendation from HNTV on 3/19, and then for the town council to choose a contractor to proceed with the project at their 4/2 meeting. We have in our approved, basically plan to IBM, we have another 2 weeks to make a decision. I don't know whether that will hurt or help us in reviewing funding. We can cover this, but it was just a little bit higher than what we thought. Comments or questions?
I have, of course, comment when I'm back, the one option that I just received here that is telling you that 60-foot diameter, there could be some real savings, and the question, of course, comes into play. Okay, how much is that savings? Do we have to have that? I know we have to get another, as Darren said, we have to get item to approve that, but that might be, what's real savings? $300,000? I know you don't know, but I don't know what that real savings is, and I don't know how I could vote on something if they'll approve that. I don't know how I could vote on something without at least knowing how much difference that's gonna make and if it would work for us. I don't think it'd be a disservice to just go ahead and do that without checking that out, in my opinion.
Darren, do we have a way that we can reach out to IDM to see if, first off, if this would, dropping that down would still keep us at our rate, or 3 gallons per 24-hour, 3 million gallon rating? Would that keep us in that? And then also, that it would be acceptable, because I think we're rated upon it being a 60-foot diameter tank.
I can definitely reach out to them and see what their opinion is. I will reach out to somebody there to get their opinion. Typically, they won't give me a hard guarantee or anything, but they'll let me know what that would be. I can certainly do that.
What's the repercussions if we don't meet the 4/2?
The 4/2 is just a educated guess on what we think we can get accomplished.
So we're not necessarily locked into that.
We're not necessarily locked into that plan. What we are locked into is, I would say, probably a substantial action or a final completion date. That would be the part that we may have to express to IBM why we're doing it, and make sure that it doesn't interfere with any of the plant ratings. I know in the past, when we've done the sludge thickening process, IBM's stance on it was we don't really care how much it costs or where you get the money. We just want to see it done.
Usually cost does not come into their equation as far as their evaluation.
I think we have time to at least table it until our next meeting. If we can gather some more information, I think that would be fantastic.
I had the exact same question Mark did, so without further discussion, I'm okay tabling until the next meeting if Will can get those answers.
I will reach out to IDM and see what the repercussions are for the smaller diameter. I will also reach out to the contractor and difference in savings or cost we're talking about.
I'll second that motion.
Motion been made by Dustin, seconded by
Dave?
Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you got it right. I'm sorry. Next item on the agenda is the rezone Merriman Road Poly property.
Good evening. Jeff Banning with Banning Engineering, 853 Columbia Road, Suite 101 in Plainfield, Indiana. Here this evening, bringing before you, and hopefully everyone's seen the plan. Everybody know where this property is. So it's approximately 100 acres south of town, State Road 67, Merriman Road. Was here before the Plan Commission a couple weeks ago, got a favorable recommendation to rezone from agricultural use to I2 medium intensity industrial zoning. This property goes right along with the proposed comprehensive plan, thoroughfare plan. I explained a lot of that information at the Plan Commission meeting. And unless you have questions, we're here to ask for approval of that favorable recommendation. And hopefully start moving forward with some planning on that project here in the future. So.
Just putting you on the spot as far as your Plan Commission member. Anything that you want to add?
No, I think it was a unanimous decision that we go from ag to I2. I don't think there were very many questions or concerns about it.
Any comments or questions for either Jessica or Jay?
I think it fits the environment with Flagstaff being right next door to it, and then obviously on the opposite side of the street you got Equipment Technologies, so I think it goes hand in hand in what's, you know, trying to get the businesses to grow in that area, and we lack some land, so.
Absolutely.
I just have a comment. I wanted to thank Jeff. Jeff did a great job at giving a great explanation of and a presentation at the Planning Commission. I think Jessica would actually.
Yes.
Thank you. I
I agree,
appreciate
yeah.
that.
The church you're talking about is tonight. I was going to say they didn't say anything.
No,
You want me to go through that?
No.
I've heard you rattle before. No. I'll make the motion that we approve from ag to I2.
It will be ordinance number 1, 2019. Motion to approve ordinance number 1, 2019 has been made. Do I have a
I'll
second?
second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
See you, Jeff. Thank you.
Hopefully you'll see us in the near future for some real projects.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
Next item on the agenda is Zachary Finch, Slide Off Road. Did I pronounce that right? I hope I did.
Hey, Zach.
Okay, we just wanted to hook up to the town wastewater, get my house, old house on the sewer system.
Has your system failed now?
No,
Just trying to be proactive then, I'm guessing.
by request of we were trying to sell the property,
Gotcha.
and we're in negotiations with a family, and they want to be on sewers.
Okay.
That was gonna be my question. He just said old house.
In the past, we've requested that when you hook onto the sewer that you would not, once we have contiguity to the property, that you would not fight or go against annexation. Actually, what we'd ask is a letter requesting annexation. Do you know if the new owners, I mean, it would be hard for you to make that commitment for them. Have the new owners discussed that? Have you discussed that with them?
I don't believe so.
Yes, we talked with them about it, and they're totally fine with annexation, and they will put that in writing for you. And I put that in writing in my letter to you
Okay.
requesting this.
Well, I saw it from you, but I didn't know about from them.
Yeah, I talked to them, they're fine.
Okay, is the house pending sale now?
Yes.
But it is not a matter of a failure on it, on the sanitary sewer now,
No.
or the septic system now.
No.
And in order to tap onto that, that would go under Landersdale.
I think we were trying to go under slide off, right? Yeah, we're trying to, the slide off is much closer, and there's that little condominium right across the street, the group of condos across the street from the property.
Is that on an easement or is that on private property over there?
I wasn't able to find the drawings, blueprints on that, but, we were pretty sure that it's, an easement that they would be able to tap onto, and it's much closer to their home. But I will do my due diligence to find that easement before we move forward. But I'm pretty sure, and I even conferred with, my number 2 guy,
It's Jamestown over there though, isn't it?
yeah.
Okay.
The sewer main along Landersdale is quite a distance from their house, and it's very deep.
I'll say, I thought someone, I think maybe you had said that was 22 feet deep or something there.
Yeah, it's pretty deep.
You know, in the past, we've always, worried about septic systems being out there, and we think that, just maybe it's time to do something different. However, we've done it more of a humanitarian, we have a failure, or new construction. This one's kind of new to us, a pending sale and doing that way. Are there any questions or comments for Zachary?
Very new to me too.
Okay.
No.
Well, just this particular, I know there's some houses there that are hooked up, but usually it's, hey, we failed, we had troubles here.
I guess for legal counsel, with the annexation laws written as they are, how would we proceed with something that, a sale like this, with an owner that's not here, that we do have maybe a letter from? We've already annexed a property for this year. Would we annex next year?
But this property's not annexed at this point. is that
No.
right?
It's
Right,
not,
right.
not annexed and no contiguity to it at this time.
Right.
I think what you would do is to have both the seller and the purchaser sign a letter saying that in return, and in consideration of the town allowing them to hook onto the sewer, they waive their right to object to any annexation that might occur in the future on this property.
Okay.
And have both the seller and the purchaser sign that, so that when title transfers, then they're both bound by that.
But you're requesting for you will hook it up before you change ownership, is that correct?
No, I think we were just gonna get a bid and then remove that from the final price of the sale, and then have them take care of it.
I think long as they both sign it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Questions or comments?
I guess I have a little bit of a concern of making a deal with people that's not going. I would feel better if they was either at the meeting or we had
Oh, the new owner?
something in. Just because it's like making a deal with someone that you've not seen or heard their opinions. So I'm not against it. I just would feel more comfortable with something more solid. And I would also feel better if Dave confirmed the easement situation before I would act on this.
A letter about the annexation? Oh,
Correct. Well, and just how this process is gonna go, because obviously you folks aren't gonna pay to do that, so we don't want to agree to all this and then it not happen because we didn't have, in my opinion, we didn't have any solid agreement with the actual people that's gonna own the property right away.
okay. But as long as you have that.
I would feel better about it. Yeah, I'm not against doing it. It's just kind of backwards, and
I quite honestly would like to see them as well.
yeah.
Yes.
I'd like to see them.
It's not final yet, the sale, I mean, I'm fine with asking them to come to your next meeting, but if that's what it would take to get this approval, I'm sure they would, because they're very, very anxious.
Yeah,
They
they're
really
very
want to have swords.
Would you folks be willing to come to the next meeting with them if they're in agreement to do that?
They won't be in town.
All right,
That's
well,
why we asked to get on this agenda.
Sure.
But Zach, you'll be,
yeah, I'll be around.
You'll be- Sorry,
It's okay. Gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Legal counsel advised that we could have something prepared for them to sign at our next meeting.
And they both appear in person and sign it here. So there's no question that the council knows that both sides understand what the structure of the deal is and that they're okay with it. So
I'll make a motion that we table this until our next meeting, and council can have that document here, and then if they can be here. We obviously know where you guys stand with it, so just having them here would make me feel a little bit better.
I'll need
Dave, are you okay? Do you think you can track this down in 2 weeks?
I think I can track it down.
Sorry. I'm sitting next to him. It's starting to rub off, I think. So.
I'll need the address of the property and the name of both the purchasers and the seller. So if somebody will get that to me, we can get that to Dave and he'll give it to me.
and David, can you at that point in time be prepared next week and let them know, we need to let them know the amount of dollars that's gonna cost them as well? We have some kind of an idea there so you'll know how much it's gonna be.
Put that in writing.
how much, what is going to be,
To hook onto the sewer,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're getting bids right now, so.
Our hook on cost?
our hook on cost.
Yeah.
2,000, is it 2,000?
That
I've
way
got a
everybody
motion on the
knows
table.
what that's going to be at that time.
Well, you know, I assume that when the new owners purchase it, that, you know, Mel said we could put that in the letter, but I assume that when people purchase it, they may, depending on the bid, they may say, okay, we're gonna get by for a couple of years on the septic system, and then we'll hook on, but we know we have permission to hook on. And at that point in time, our structure, or hook on and availability fees may change. So I hate to put the.
Well, I've done this,
Right.
I think what Zach said was that he was gonna deduct that off the price of the house. So that's how that's gonna work.
But then
Now,
your
whether they
document
come back
might specify
is-
pricing. It
yeah,
would just
whether
say
they
what
come back and
current
actually
market
do it.
Pricing
Yeah.
at that
You
time.
can say what it is currently, but we'll put in there that, you know, they'll have to pay whatever the costs are at the time of the
That's what,
connection.
Yeah,
they wait
market.
3 years and they have to pay whatever it is in 3 years.
They won't come back and say, hey, give us some more money back.
Right.
I still got a motion on the table.
Do we have a motion by Dave to table? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And we also have a request, Josh Poole, a request for wastewater hook on Johnson Road, 740?
740 Johnson Road, yes.
Hi, Josh.
Hi there. I'd like to just start by thanking you all for the late minute addition to the agenda. Unfortunately, we are in a situation where we're seeing failure, signs of failure. Also want to take a moment to thank you guys for working with the county to deal with our drainage issues on on Johnson Road. It's been very well received. I know it's made me and my neighbors very happy. We got our first significant rainfall, and it did make a tremendous difference for us, so I do thank you for that.
Well, thank you for the feedback.
You know that, Anthony.
Let's go in there.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Unfortunately, we were hoping that with that done, that we would start seeing some alleviation to our drainage field and septic system. Unfortunately, that is not the case. We've already invested quite a bit of money into it, but we're seeing signs of continued failure as we are now looking to empty a $1,000 tank or a 1,000-gallon tank for the third time in 4 months. So it's clearly showing signs that there's water penetrating into the septic. So.
You spoke to Commissioner Goodwin.
Pardon?
You spoke to Commissioner Goodwin, if I'm...
Yes,
okay.
that is correct.
Yeah, I wanted to inform the council that Commissioner Goodwin actually called me about Josh's situation, and so I'm fairly familiar, so I believe that there is significant failure, and so I would actually back this up from the county. He has spoken with the county as well, and they have just recently replaced some of this piping out there, trying to alleviate. You're saying that's not helping your situation so much.
Unfortunately, my property lies a lot lower than everybody else's.
Okay.
So even though now there's ability for the water coming over the road to get down, we're still showing signs of heavy saturation in our front yard, and unfortunately, that's exactly where our drain field is. So.
I live in Grandview right by you, so.
Downhill, because when his fails, if you're downhill,
Uphill.
David, have you been out to look at this? I did not get out there because of the lateness of the time.
Yeah, unfortunately, this come in today.
Okay, so where's that relationship to where we've already, we do have another couple on Johnson Road, correct?
It's kind of like one or two, we'll skip some, then we annexed a couple.
Yeah.
A couple.
I think we're about, 5 houses from 144?
Yes. Yeah, 4th and 5th house, yes. And I think 2 houses down did theirs
We just done
2 or 3
last
years
year.
ago. Or yeah, it was fairly recent.
The new structure then at 144 also, it is on, or no? The one that's right on
Yes.
144 in Johnson?
Yes.
And so do we have piping through there then?
Well, pipe would be east side of Johnson Road,
Okay.
running north and south.
So you have to go, it does have to go underneath Johnson. They all have to do that,
Yep.
correct? Okay. Okay, that's all the questions I have. Thank you.
I have no questions. Obviously, we've been doing that in Johnson Road area for quite some time now, and it's just another piece of the pie.
If you guys want to let me, I'd be more than happy to have that done ASAP. So.
Well, I think it's like the other one we've got today, we would ask you to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
Is that prior to the census? Is that right?
You can't, well, that's an application issue. You can do it, but it does not play.
Okay. Do we, where that's at, I believe we have contiguity to the back. Is Good Shepherd in your backyard?
That is true.
And we have them in the town of Mooresville, is that correct? Well, we would have, he's across from Grandview.
The entrance.
Or, yeah. So
See,
we
the
would have
contiguity's
one
there.
contiguity there. Okay. So we could do the annexation, with the understanding that we can't finalize it this year because of a year prior to a census year, but we could go ahead and have a letter of request for annexation.
I think if we do that, Tom, we should also go ahead though with the rest of those people on Johnson and do them at the same time.
You can do an annexation and complete it, but it doesn't become effective.
Correct, I
until
got you.
January 1, right? That's-
But I think the rest of those people are also across from,
So are you thinking to get his letter, hold off on the annexation until we get more on there? Is that what you're thinking?
no, I think we have some right now that we need to get on there that aren't on there.
Okay.
On Johnson Road. we're gonna do this, let's go ahead and grab all 3 or 4 or whatever.
And this is gonna be a continued problem with Johnson Road, because they're gradually felling a
Yes.
little bit at a time, so we might as well just get it.
I'm not saying that this is gonna hold up your sewer, but,
No.
but if the council decides they want to do that, but I think we ought to go ahead and do that annexation as much as we can on Johnson in its entirety if we could.
I agree.
Yeah, we're already paving because one side is and some are and some aren't. And
So, need a motion to allow the request, or deny the request, or to table, or to allow the request with stipulations of request for a letter like we have done already.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and approve the hook on for 740 Johnson for the pools, based on them giving us a written approval that they are willing to be annexed and pay all the costs associated with them hooking up, of course.
Can't read that this moment.
And then, no, you cannot.
I was gonna ask him if his house is for sale, just to be on the safe side.
No, I'm going to be in my residence for at least the next 3 years.
I'm sorry, that was just unique. That was the first time I've
It
experienced.
was very much. I'll second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
So,
So what? Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
I can't help myself,
Please, go, please.
No, you're good, go ahead.
No,
Well, anyway, Josh, we will make sure that we get a letter to you so you can get that signed. I don't know if Mel's gonna do a different one.
We'll just get a waiver. Somebody will give me the address and the property owner's names, and I'll take care of the waiver.
Okay. You can probably, as we have as Thomas signator anyway, or the president of the council can sign off on that. We've already done that motion to start the year. So we can go ahead and proceed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Oh, wait, go ahead, Tom.
sure it's all right? Thank you.
it's a good thing we separated you two.
Oh no, I just watch and learn from the master. Under other business, Milestone has requested, what's his name, Fitzpatrick, is that his name, Chief Allen? Has requested in the past that they are allowed to use their trucks as far as going in and out of town, going up to 42 and out for the paving project of 67. We thought that as a good partner with the state and with the county that we accepted that. One of the things that they've asked now is a place for storage of both material and equipment. Their first request was the property along 67 right there at the old Renster property. We currently have an agreement with the Mooresville Consolidated Schools. They actually pull a bus up in there and turn it around and bring it back out right there at Circle Drive, just for safety issues for both the traveling public and for the children getting on the bus. So I'm afraid that any kind of storage of material there would maybe create an awkward situation for both the bus and also maybe something that we really don't want at that intersection. Added confusion, added traffic. I did ask for alternatives. They did take a look at the street garage, and he said he felt like that was just not enough room for what they needed. That made me even more concerned about their initial request, because I think we got quite a bit of room there. He had talked about possibly the area behind our wastewater treatment plant. We have a small area there, but that would be, in my opinion, in direct conflict with what we may or may not have going on with our clarifier. Now, the request was, would the council entertain that? And since I'm 1/5 of the board, I could not answer that question, and that's why I'm bringing it to you this evening. I don't feel comfortable thinking that, especially when they said that there wasn't enough room at the street garage, and then knowing the obligation that we've made with the school for public safety. That also is, and I know it's state approved, but that's also does not have a cutoff into it. So you would go up to Bridge Street, make a U-turn, a signal U-turn, protected U-turn, and come back. Thoughts, comments?
I don't like the intersection there by Hadley Road. That's already kind of a messed up intersection. And I think with truck traffic coming out right after that light around that corner is just not good altogether. And then obviously we're in our partnership with the school.
I know that, he had, in discussing with Mr. Fitzpatrick, the school does have the old veneer plant there, and he said that was kind of a plan B, that he would reach out to them, pending what we came up with. But I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page.
I concur with the two of you that I'm not comfortable with their option A.
I have no desire to rent that out for free, or in any case, I don't like the idea of us doing it that. No. So I agree with everybody but Jessica.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that's a good area for that, especially with the buses. And
Okay. Then I need a motion from the council to allow me to express the.
I'll make a motion to deny the request to put storage on the, however you want to call that. We call it the old Rimster property, but that's, deny that request.
I second that.
Motion been made and seconded. All
Can
in
I
favor?
fix Marcus?
Wait a minute. Yeah.
Can you change that where Tom can make the contact with them to let them know we're denying that?
I will not. I want Jessica to do it. Yeah, that's fine. I'll change that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye. Finally got one in on you, Mark.
Any unfinished or other business from the council?
I would actually just like to thank the clerk's office for posting both the RDC and the council's agenda ahead of time on the Facebook page. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on that, so thank you so much for doing that.
You're welcome.
Should we turn our thermostat up just a little bit in our office?
If we could.
You thought you were going to make it through, didn't you? Thought you were going to make it through.
Legal counsel.
Anything additional?
Department head reports.
February 2019, monthly statistics. Incident reports 212, arrest reports 51, citations 124, warnings 259, cat calls 1,920, and 32 accidents, 30 property damage to personal injury. Officers turned in 163 hours of overtime, 8 hours of comp time, and drove 19,285 miles from the home. And we had 409 911 calls. Any questions?
Thank you, Chief.
Did you have fun?
Every day.
There you go.
They were assembling the dispatch center today at the new police department, so
Consoles were in the basement. Yep.
so progress is still going.
Move right on. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Anybody?
Sandy has pointed out, is there anyone here from the park? Did you? She said that someone brought in the street closing permits for the concert series. Was that something you were expecting, you were wanting to do this evening?
I talked to Brent tonight, I thought he was gonna do that next meeting.
At our next meeting? Okay. Yes.
Have you seen that? Chief, have you seen that?
Yes, everyone has signed off on it. I mean, it's completed.
Okay,
Ready to
then
go.
we all know what it's for. Let's go ahead and get it off the agenda and do it right now. I mean, if we know what it is.
Well, I didn't see that coming from here. What was it?
If I may, I believe that there's going to be a meeting prior to this, I think with the chamber for the first kickoff for June 8th. We have a meeting coming up with all the department heads on that one, so.
Just on the first one, or
That was the first big one, and then I think.
This is based on closing Indiana Street though from Washington to,
So the first one
in Maine.
is the block party, so all four blocks will be shut down.
first one.
The first one, and then thereafter just North Indiana Street. But there were some issues that I believe that Mr. Callahan was going to sit down and have a meeting with the chamber, department head, Dave Moore, convinced her to sell. That was my understanding that we were going to have a meeting.
But is that in relationship to what we're talking about, or is that just other matters? Pertains to shutting the street down? Okay.
well, I'd like to look also, because I think maybe we've already done the block party back last summer with Minnie.
We did.
Okay, we'll table it. Or I guess we're not tabling, we're just not hearing it because it wasn't on there.
Right.
Public comments. Motion for approval of payment of claims.
I'll make a motion that we approve claims in the amount of $548,031.51.
51 cents.
I will second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Our next meeting date will be April 2nd. Have we ever had a meeting on April Fool's Day?
We have.
Motion to adjourn.
I will make said motion to adjourn.
Motion been made. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion been maintained. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I got signatures, people.
Quit running out of here. Just 'cause you're cold.
Freezing.
Who, me?
No.
You're cold?
Freezing.
Yeah, it is cold in there.
I knew I should have worn my winter coat.
You didn't get the call to wear something else more?
I did, but I'm like, I'll be all right.
I was getting ready to say, I did, but then I really didn't.
Oh, don't worry. I about wore the North Face goofy jacket.
Oh, you need to put a 1 on all those. Darren? You can get us anything, everything.
So you got your fishing equipment all cleaned up, ready to go?
It is very much ready. Really? Very much ready. It's getting that time. We'll be here before we, No, it got a little colder this winter than last year, so. But, yeah, we'll have to. Absolutely. I know.
He was showing you how to do it.
We were supposed to go last year, toward the end, never made it.
Come down to my lake if you want.
Go out to your lake every day.
How big was that catfish your daughter caught there off the rocks?
What?
How big was that catfish your daughter caught?
47 pounds.
47.
Where at?
Catfish.
Probably 60 pounds.
Whereabouts?
Well, you know where the yacht club is? And you walk where they go down and walk off to the left, kind of a rock. There's a ledge that goes out there, the wall goes out there when she was fishing.